about this one? We haven't talked to this guy in years.
Right, or days.
The great Joe Benigno. Joe B.
What's up,
boys?
Joe?
What is this, Throwback Thursday?
Yeah, so basically.
What are we throwing back? The Jet season? What?
So
the Met off season?
Right. You thought you
what
had
are
a
we
big
throwing
catch?
back?
You thought you had a big catch? Hey, we got Aaron Rodgers. Oh, it's just a tire.
Right.
Blue. Throw it back.
In honor of going back in history, I wanted to play something for you that's not going to make you depressed. It's going to make you happy. And I went into the archives because, to me, in the years I worked with you, and obviously a legend on the overnights.
Well, we had tremendous run, bro. There's no question about it.
I thought that there was one particular show where you were at your happiest.
Oh, I know what it is. I can tell you right now.
And
should I tell you what show it is, or what? Are you just going to play it?
I hope I'm right. I mean, yeah, tell me, and I want to see if I got it right.
San Diego after the playoff win.
Yes. So here are a couple of clips from right after Jets-Chargers, because remember, the Jets play the Chargers. This is after the 2009 season.
Unbelievable.
So it's January of 2010. We go to L.A. and then drive to San Diego because it was too expensive to fly to San Diego directly.
Didn't it rain when we were? And it rained like only when me and you were there does it rain in freaking L.A. You know, like they say, it never rains in Southern California.
Right.
Not when we're there.
It's true. It's true, Tiki. It was raining, and we go to see Jets.
It was a nice day for the game, though. The game was nice. It was a nice day. Let me say that.
Oh, no doubt.
During the game,
no doubt. No doubt. I'll never forget. And we sit down in our seats. And these two beautiful girls happen to have the seats next to us.
Yes.
And I'm like, holy crap, I'm
You're
a
like,
single.
This is a setup.
Unbelievable.
I'm like, I'm a single guy. What the hell am I supposed to do right now? But it's the Jets against the Chargers in the playoffs.
Right.
And the Jets won this game, and we did a show right after from the booth at Qualcomm Stadium.
Yep.
And I think you were at your
I was
giddiest.
delirious.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here's just the first 25 seconds of that show from that Sunday evening.
Joe Benigno and Evan Roberts on the Fan.
Sports Radio 66, a Fan. WFAN, New York.
8:35 on the Fan, and a stellar Sunday night special edition of the midday show. We are live. Benigno Roberts from Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. The Jets are one win away from the Super Bowl. Are you kidding me, bro?
Oh, my God.
You can hear it. Oh. You can hear it. It was awesome, Joe.
Oh.
Well, hey, bro, you know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? This doesn't happen.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And this is the part that the audience also has to know that Joe did this on the air, but he also did it to the fans who root for the Chargers.
Oh, I was bad. You know what? Can I say this before you play it?
Yes, of
before
course.
you play. I feel, look, I have the people of San Diego. I mean, this is, not New England. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
There's
there's
not
like
like
evil,
Pittsburgh.
there's no bad blood.
Come on, it's not Buffalo. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Miami. I felt bad doing this, but I was just so beyond delirious. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean,
we see? You know who else we saw going to the show was Nance and Sims.
That's right.
Remember that?
Yes, we did. Because we had this long march up from our seats, which were pretty good, all the way to the top to go to the booth.
Right.
And so we're passing by.
And we got the jerseys on too. Now I forget what jersey I had on, but I know I had a jersey on.
Yes.
I don't know who. Maybe Revis. I don't know who it was. I don't know.
Who had a
you had to have one on too. I don't remember who.
I had a Jericho Kochery jersey on.
Is that
at
who
the
you had
time.
on, Kochery?
Yeah,
well, he was a good
guy.
player for us, Kochery.
No question. So this rant you're about to hear, which occurred during the Open, also occurred to Charger fans' faces as we were walking up.
Oh, this was bad. Yeah, this is terrible. I feel bad, but go ahead.
Here it is.
The San Diego Chargers, the high-powered, high-flying offense that had gone 23 consecutive games, scoring 20 or more points. You know what? Not anymore. The San Diego Chargers, the hottest team in the NFL, 11 consecutive wins. You know what, bro? That winning streak is over. The New York Jets sticking it right where the sun don't shine to the San Diego Chargers. What a game today.
Oh, God. That was some game, man.
Oh, tremendous. And I could still see Thomas Jones. I mean, and here it is, 4th
That's my
and
guy.
1.
Wahoo wah.
Right. What was it, 2017? I think it was 2017.
Yeah.
And this is, and Rex and you and I are both saying, let's go for it. Let's get the first down, and we're done. It's over. And there it is, Thomas Jones, who was a tremendous. I know he's a fellow Virginian like you, Teak. He was a tremendous player for the Jets. He wasn't there long enough as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, 4th and 1. Sanchez gives him the ball, he gets the first down, and we are just forget it. We're in another dimension.
Delirious, because I think that run so came out of nowhere because of the way Indianapolis laid down.
Right.
They had the undefeated season. Curtis Painter comes in for Peyton Manning.
We couldn't believe, right?
And remember, Rex Ryan gave up on the season after they lost to Atlanta. He said, we're out of it. We didn't make it.
Somehow they didn't cover Tony Gonzalez. Oh, remember that game? I think we were up 7-3 all game, bro. And then with the game on the line, right down the field against our tremendous defense, and Tony Gonzalez, he's only one of the great tight ends of all time. You think maybe somebody could cover him in the end zone?
What year was that?
Nine.
09.
Oh, so that was Matt Ryan then.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was the great Matt Ryan.
Right. Yeah,
we've lost some bad games to the Falcons over the years, including at home, including the game this year, which was a disaster.
Yeah, as an aside, Joe, going down the nostalgia road, but I want to ask you about Bill Belichick, because we were speculating where the best landing spot is for him and talking about the Falcons. I think it's the Falcons, right? I know the Falcons wanted to trade for him, and now that he's free, they got a talented roster, especially offensively, all those first-rounders.
High draft. I think they're the 7th pick in the draft.
They got a draft pick. They got to figure out a way to get a quarterback, but other than that, I mean – the division is terrible. It's terrible, so it's winnable. Right? Where do you think he ends up? Where do you think he doesn't?
Well,
do anything?
I think it's two plays. He's not going to be in the AFC. This idea that he's going to the Chargers, I don't see it. I don't think he would be in the same conference as the Patriots. I don't think that's happening. I think there's only two places. I think, and who knows? Maybe he doesn't want to coach anymore.
Right.
I mean, there is that. Nobody's saying that, but he is, 71. I mean, and I'm 70. I understand. You know what I mean? I think his two places, Tiki. He's either going to Atlanta or Washington. Those are the places.
Yeah, Evan said Washington.
Well, Washington is
and
the
I
place.
Said Atlanta.
Right.
Washington is the place, Joe, that I want to see him go to. I think that's cool. They're a legendary franchise.
Right.
They've been,
even though they're the Commanders now, which takes away from it. But yes,
it does.
Right.
It actually does a little bit because the name makes it feel like it's an expansion
The
team.
Commanders.
Right. But they've been dormant for like 25 years. When you really think about it, they've had these
91 is their last Super Bowl win. Joe Gibbs, that was the third of his 3 Super Bowl wins. That's a long time ago.
And even not just Super Bowl, the last time you could even take them seriously. Like they've had these moments where they've made the playoffs, but they've never really been a serious threat.
Right.
I think it would be sort of cool to see him in Washington. I'm hoping he goes to Washington.
Well, I think the one thing, though, and Tiki mentioned it, and he's right. The NFC South is a winnable division. I mean, Tampa, New Orleans, you can win there. Carolina, who knows where they are?
Yeah.
If you go to Washington, you still got to get through. And I don't know what happened to Philadelphia. I mean, I think they're in trouble Monday night, but that's me. I don't know what happened to them. But nevertheless, you still got to go through Philadelphia. You got to go through the Cowboys. I don't know what the Giants are right now, but I mean, I don't know how he feels about the NFC East as opposed to the NFC South. So, but I think those are the two places. And like I said, he's got the 2nd pick in the draft in Washington. He's getting a quarterback in Washington. There's no doubt about it.
When you think back to what he did to us for the last 2.5 decades, what jumps out at you as number one? Is it the resignation? Is it just the overall success? Like, what is it about Bill over the last 20
let me say
years?
one thing. I mean, I know there was really, a lot of people wanted to see the Jets lose this last game, and the draft pick and all of this, and it was a meaningless game. But I'm telling you, man, this game that they just beat him, the fact that this is the last game he will coach as the Patriots and he will have lost to the Jets has to bother him somewhat. Let's be honest about it. As meaningless as this game was, it has to. So I'm happy about that. Obviously, the game that will always stick out to me is the playoff win, in January 2011, the 2010 season, That's the game. But I don't know if Tiki knows this. I actually had a little bit of a relationship with Belichick, Tiki.
Did you?
Going back,
From when he was with the Giants?
Well, not when he was with the Giants. when he was coaching in New England, he was defensive backs coach with Bill, with Parcells.
Oh, got it. When he was assistant.
Right, 95, 96, 90, whatever, I guess it was 96. The 1 year was 96.
Right.
He used to listen to me because I was doing the overnight back then. He used to listen to me on the overnight.
Nice.
So when Parcells comes to the Jets, right, in 97, I get word from some people, hey, Bill Belichick, because Belichick comes with Parcells, Bill Belichick wants to meet you. I'm like, wow, okay. So I went out, set it up. I went out to, this is Hofstra at the time, to meet Belichick. He took me around. And this happened, we got to be pretty good. I went out there one time, this is no lie, to Hofstra and watched game film with him in his office. This is crazy. Awesome. No, this is like 1997. When the Jets made the playoffs in 98, they beat Buffalo on a Saturday afternoon. I could see Dedrick Ward had a big punt return to kind of seal the win in Buffalo. It was a Saturday. And I'm still delirious. I'm upstairs. That was right to seal the division title. I'm going nuts. My wife calls me. She says, somebody wants to talk to you downstairs. It was actually Bears Najarian who hands the phone to Belichick and says, congratulations that you won the AFC East. and then to take it a step further, the late, great Dave Jennings, who was a good friend of mine, should be in the Hall of Fame, one of the great punters of all time.
Yeah.
Set up, we had dinner. We went to Peter Luger's in Long Island. This is when I was doing the overnight. It was me, Dave Jennings, Belichick, Mike Tannenbaum, and Bears Najarian, who was his longtime, still his assistant. And we went to dinner that night at Peter Luger's. And, I went to do the overnight show after that. And they hand me 4 tickets for the playoff game against the Jaguars in 98.
Wow.
So,
Wow, you did have a relationship.
That's right.
We did a show, Ray Martell and I, when Ray was my producer in the overnight. This is 04. Both teams started 5-0. Evan remembers. Both teams started 5-0. They played the Patriots the same weekend of the Red Sox in the World Series against St. Louis. Ray and I actually went to the first Game 1 of the World Series Saturday night in Fenway, where Ray almost got in a fight with a Red Sox fan. I don't even want to get into it, right? And then the next day, we went to the Jet-Patriot game in Foxborough, right? So we stayed over. My wife came up for the game. We stayed over. The Jets, of course, lost. They were 5-0. They lost. Patriots became 6-0. And we did the show, the overnight show, 1 to 5:30 in the morning. We did the show from the press box in Foxborough. And Belichick comes on like 5 o'clock.
How
came
awesome
on.
is that? Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's amazing,
Yeah.
dude.
I mean, so I had but what happened over the years, we tried to get him on when I retired. Ed remembers this.
Yep.
We tried hard to get him on. He wouldn't come on, right? Not even to talk about, the Jet Patriot stuff, just to talk about, the years gone by. And he wouldn't come on. So I think the fact that I'm such a Jet person, whatever you want to call me, Jet fan, that he just refuses to deal with me anymore. But who knows? Maybe I can eventually get him on now. We'll see what happens from here with him.
We'll see where he goes.
You never know.
I hate to bring up something negative, but this Met offseason has been very underwhelming.
Oh, bro, what you know how I feel about the Mets. David Stearns, I'm down on Cohen. I mean,
You're
he's
down on Stearns already, Joe?
I am.
Absolutely.
He just
got here.
Hey, he's running the team. What is he doing? He's running the team like they're the Brewers.
He's
Tiki.
reevaluating.
And that's why they brought him here. I'm telling you. Cohen lost so much money, and he's got to pay $100 million in this luxury tax, and this guy's here to run the team like they're the Brewers. I'm telling you right now. They're not spending any money, and they better sign Pete. Evan's going to look like, Rumpelstiltskin and everything.
They need to sign Pete, and right now they need to add a DH. You got to give me one.
And did you hear what he said? Did you hear what Stearns? They're not even like, I don't think it's a priority. Come on.
You know what we need to do? We need to ask someone right now who would know if the Mets are going to add a DH or not.
Who's it?
Ed Coleman.
Oh, Eddie. Tremendous.
Eddie C. What the hell is going on? Are they going to add a DH?
Eddie, what a disgrace. Ed, it's a disgrace, Ed.
What you want to take at bats away from DJ Stewart?
First of all, Eddie, Happy New Year, Ed. Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year.
Before we start killing the Mets.
I was thinking of you on Sunday because I'm sitting there and I'm watching Bill's last game, and I'm saying, how pissed is Bill that he lost his last game?
No question about it. Yep. And that's why. You know what? And even though it was a meaningless game, the whole thing 7-10, I loved every second of sticking it up his rear end. I got to tell you, Ed. I mean, I did because if they would have won that game, if they would have won, they would have been carrying Bill off the field. Come on.
Yeah. No, I know. But I was thinking of you. And
Thank
listen,
you, Ed. Thank you, Ed.
I'm retired. I know you're not retired. I hear you more now than I did when you were working, for God's sake.
You know what? It's crazy. I got the podcast a couple days a week. I do a lot of the fill-ins. I was on their show on Mondays, during the Jet season. So I've done a few things. It is what it is. But you know what? Here's the difference now, Ed. I do it on my timetable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
It's a little different situation, bro.
Well, the key is
you
you don't have to come in. I mean, that's the biggest
bro,
thing,
I couldn't
right?
do it. You know what? I couldn't do that anymore. There's no way. I talked about this with my wife all the time. There's no way I could commute to Manhattan every day anymore. There's no shot.
Eddie,
I mean, you could give me a car service every day, and eventually I would burn out.
Now, what are you doing, Eddie? You just retired, hanging out? Like, do you golf? Like, what have you been up to lately?
I am. Well, I've done some golf. I went down to Hilton Head and played golf for a little while. But I'm not. No, it was great. And I'm one of these guys who thinks that, and isn't everybody that way? If I played 3 times a week or 4 times a week,
Right.
I'd be great. But I wouldn't.
Hey, Ed,
okay?
don't believe it, Ed. Don't believe it.
No, I don't. I'm a terrible golfer, and I don't play it enough. And I'm not. I can honestly say I'm not in love with it. I like it, but I'm not in love with it. And it's so I'm doing a little bit of that.
We got
and
to
just
play.
relax.
Ed, we got to play next year. You and I got to play up here next year.
Okay, all right.
We win this summer. Go ahead.
That'll be a long day. Well,
Hey, you know what? It'll be a fun day, though.
Yeah. No, definitely. But I've been just relaxing, and I'll tell you what. This time of the day is like my favorite time of the day, and the reason why is because most times when I was working, from say March to September with the Mets, or whatever, and doing it every day, you'd be running around. It was always hectic. You'd be running around getting interviews, or preparing for a game, or whatever it was. And now you can just kind of sit back and have a drink and say, somebody else is doing that. The heck with it.
Right.
Now that you're not paid to do it, you don't watch every Met game, right? Do you check in on them?
No.
Like, how do you handle the Mets?
No, I still, I still watch, and I still, keep track of what's going on. I'd say it's a rather underwhelming offseason, to say the least.
The pain.
But
it's intentional, Joe. Ed, it's intentional.
It's intentional.
He's got to reset
We're getting hosed.
You're not getting hosed. You're getting reset, dude.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah,
let me just say, I don't want to jump on you, Ed, but Tiki, just let me just say this, okay? For years we had the Wilpons, and we had to deal with all that. Then Cohen comes in with all his money, okay, we're going to win in 5 years. And then in the middle of the second year, he decides to punt on it. What are you talking about?
Well, they weren't going anywhere last year, and they had to get rid of the $43 million salary of 2 plus 40-year-olds.
If they would have kept Verlander, they would have at least been competitive down the stretch.
Yeah,
I feel that.
They'd be competitive this year if they had kept Verlander. That's the one that Evan and I have been kind of scratching our head about.
Of course they would.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Ed. You get me going on the Mets here.
No, you're right. But, it is. Listen, it is a reset for him, whatever that's, Tiki's right in that sense, I think. But it's a tough reset, especially when, listen, when you have great expectations and all of a sudden Scherzer and Verlander are here and it all falls apart rather quickly. At some point you got to reset, and that's what they're doing. But it's hard to watch and hard to take, I think, right now.
By the way,
amen.
By the
Amen,
way, both of you guys love football. I just found something out. Me and Tiki found something out that I'm disgusted by, and I'm very curious your opinion.
What?
It's supposed to snow in Buffalo. Okay, it's supposed to be bad weather.
Right.
They are thinking.
I heard about this.
Yeah, but really bad weather,
What?
Joe.
Don't
This
tell
is
me
like 40 inches
Well,
bad
don't
weather.
tell me they're thinking about moving the game
There
to
it
a
is.
dome somewhere.
There it is.
Yeah,
Come on, where they go? You can't do that. You can't do that to these. Look, I hate the Bills. Okay, I hate them. I hate their fans. I hate them all. Okay. With that said, they should not be screwed out of a home game. I mean, what are you kidding me?
You're right.
When you say how many feet of snow is it supposed to be there? Tell me what.
3.5.
3.5 feet?
Yes.
Starting when?
I don't know. Sean had this update.
Buffalo is the only city in the world that could get 3.5
Oh,
feet.
man.
And nobody
I feel bad. You know what? If where are they going to move it? Like,
Well,
where?
believe it or not,
Indianapolis?
the first rumor was moving it to Cleveland, which
Yeah.
is outside. But how is that fair to the fans of Buffalo? Because then Brown fans
Right,
have an advantage.
right. They don't get
Steeler fans have an advantage.
Now here's the
No, but
latest.
not only that, but if I'm the Browns, I don't have a home game throughout the playoffs, and I gotta.
Yeah, right.
And you're playing in my place.
Right, here's the latest update, because when we heard this earlier, it was just speculation from a network. But the NFL has now officially chimed in, and they said as of right now, they have no plans to move.
Yeah, but as of right now means as of right now. What are they going to do with it
but
tomorrow?
they have to say that. They can't preemptively say, yeah, we're moving the game to benefit the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin and his non-losing seasons ever. Right? They can't do it until they have to do it. So
When does the snow start, Teak? When is it happening? During the game?
Friday night, Saturday night, something like that?
Saturday
night.
Yeah.
So
And when's it supposed to stop? Do we know? I don't want to play in weathermen here now.
No, it looks like right now Sunday night, but it's a matter of the lake effect and how much off the lake effect, which they won't know until Saturday.
The lake effect snow.
Right.
The lake. My guess is the Bills Mafia will get a giant tarp and get out there themselves and keep the snow off the field.
If I'm a Bills fan and I got a home playoff game, they come from nowhere again to win the division, I am delirious if we're not
They
playing
have
that
to play
game.
that game in Buffalo. If they got to move it a
I
day,
don't
they
care.
move it a day.
Right.
They got to play
That's
it in
100%.
Buffalo.
You cannot play that game anywhere but Buffalo.
Eddie, Joe, we appreciate you coming on this very
Guys.
special Throwback Thursday. Thank you, guys.
thank you,
Guys,
boys.
God bless.
Guys, good
Always
to talk
talking to you. Eddie, God bless. See you guys.
You too, Joe. See you.
Guys, see you guys. The great Eddie Coleman, the great Joe Benigno.